Hey everybody, Tony and Chris back for another TigerSox review for the Blue Collar Beer Gourmet. Uh, Once again, this beer was brought to us. In fact, I'm just going to go ahead and say for the next
It's
several
the Chris
beers,
Leland series.
exactly, the next several beers were brought to us
Yeah,
by Mr. Gone V6. I always recommend people following him, not just because I like him, but he takes great pictures. It really does. He's got just the right lighting in his kitchen. He always takes great pictures. Always willing to try new and
yeah.
different
Oh yeah.
stuff.
He's a
Certainly not a
connoisseur.
yeah. So
He's a
anyway, check Mr. Gone V6 out on Instagram
he's
or
he's an enthusiastic beer fan.
he is indeed.
Like he's
He
very
is indeed.
he makes everybody want to have beer.
And today's beer, he actually gave a 5.0 on Untapped. Real quick stats on today's beer.
Woo, that's a mouthful. Take a
Uh,
deep breath.
it has a 10. Okay, today's beer is a Belgian quad.
A Belgian
Um,
club, ladies and
and
gentlemen.
Belgian quad, and this particular beer comes in at 10.2 ABV, which is about average because the BJCP says that
Huh.
um, uh,
Not that it matters, but
10.0.
the
Okay.
can says
Somehow
10.0.
Untapped always seems to get
They
that
add
wrong.
point two.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they are 10.0, putting it between 8 and 12, like, right in the middle. Um, and the ABV is 28. Normally the BJCP says that IBUs come in from 20 to 35, so at 28, it's pretty much halfway there. Four of my friends have given this a 4.25. 29, oh, just over 2,900 people have given this a 3.95 on Untapped. Beer Advocate, 47 people have given a cumulative score of 4.09, making it an exceptional beer
Exceptional
according
beer.
to Beer Advocate standards. Uh, Quadrupel, as it is oftentimes known, is a term invented by the Dutch Trappist brewery La Trappe in 1990 to distinguish it from its then new barley wine, increasingly adopted by craft brewers to denote a strong Abbey ale. One more thing, just a quick note. I did look up Abbey. I looked up Trappist. I tried to find a great distinction between the two. Abbey, a term used mainly outside of Belgium to denote the styles of sweet, heavy ale associated with monastic breweries. Trappist beer celebrated ales brewed under the direct supervision of monks at a Trappist monastery. What's the distinction between the two, even after reading those two? I don't know. I'm sorry, I just don't.
Can't know
Uh,
everything.
a quad, oftentimes known as a Belgian dark strong ale, complex, rich, smooth, and in fact, this is a direct quote from BJCP, Beer Judging Certification Program. Complex, rich, smooth, and dangerous. That was under the overall
Dangerous beer.
impression
It's
of
nitroglycerin.
quads. So, aroma: rich, sweet, malty presence, moderate spiciness, fruity esters are strong. Raisin, plum, dried cherry, fig, or prune notes, perhaps slight vanilla. Should have no dark roast malt aroma. Should have no alcohols or solventy aromas. Should not have spicy phenols, usually pepper, not clove-like. Should come in a deep coppery brown, persistent cream to light tan head. Can be clear or somewhat hazy. Should be moderately dry, sweet, bitter, malty. Should not be syrupy, high carbonation, smooth alcohol, warmth, medium bodied. Authentic Trappist versions tend to be drier than Abbey versions, which can be rather sweet and full bodied. Just like the triple that we reviewed last week, Sauser and English style or Sty, Styrian, is it? Anyway, Styran Golding Sops. Like a larger double with a full-bodied and measured and increased maltiness, not as bitter or hoppy as a triple, but of similar strength. So actually, this comes in almost a full 2 points, 2% over the triple that we had last week.
Trappist beer.
Trappist beer.
I don't think I've ever heard of that. I mean, that expression.
Uh,
I do know
These are
that
two
monks
words.
were
Well,
heavily
yeah.
involved
When
with.
you see Belgian beers, because it does seem like just about every Belgian beer it has either the word Trappist or Abbey on it. Trying to just figure out the distinction is proven to be difficult. Tony's showing you the can now. That is the Taxman red wine barrel
Taxman
aged
back-to-back weeks.
qualified.
Yes, red wine barrel qualified. Yep.
You know, it does make me think of my all-time favorite beer, a saison, believe it or not, from Seattle Brewers Holy Mountain, River of Ash, also aged in red wine barrels. So now I have to wonder if maybe it. So what I've been noticing lately is, I swear to you, from the beer atlas that my stepson gave me, um, these varieties can change from as little as 5 miles down the road.
Mm.
This village does it this way. 5 miles down the road, they do it this way and call it the same thing, or do the
Yeah.
exact same thing and call it a different thing because we use Brett this region, and you're using Brett from that side of the hill.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Belgian is very, very, very complex.
Technical.
It's a huge category, and I don't know whether I've mentioned this before or not, but upon reading, I have discovered that Belgium actually exports 60% of their output, meaning we, the world as a whole, drink more Belgian beer than Belgians do. So
That's cool.
there you have it.
Well, they've got themselves an industry, you know.
They do. They do. I mean, if it works
So,
for you, great.
yeah, it's gotta make the money.
Not a
somehow.
particularly big country, so I
And
guess,
like you said, like one side of the hill versus another side of the hill. I mean, it really can come down to their palate being so refined that they can actually attribute the soil. You know what I mean?
Well, and farm people can oftentimes, honestly. I mean, if anybody who's lived on a
Take
farm,
a
lived
sip
in a
and
small
pinpoint
county,
exactly
they
where.
can tell you, Old Man Peterson's tomatoes over Old Man Johnson's tomatoes
Yeah,
sometimes.
yeah.
And their
So why not yeast
their
and why
farms
not
practically touch each other. So
hops and
yeah.
everything else that goes in a beer? So yeah,
Stands
pretty
reason.
interesting. Again, how many quads are out there in a can? I mean, that's another
Yeah.
kind of a cool thing about this beer is that check out your store, your local bottle shop or whatever. You're not going to find too many quads in a can. You're just not. You might not even find too many quads, period.
That's true.
Then you're going to find one in a can? No,
Yeah.
it's just not going to happen probably. Real quick reminder, Bargersville, Indiana is where Taxman is located. And here we go.
So these are Middle American.
Thank you for the notes. You're getting
Thank you.
educated and entertained for free.
For free. Ain't we something?
Ooh.
All right. Let me pick up at first.
Molasses, brown
Oh
sugar,
yeah, holy yeah. Molasses, brown sugar, figs, plums.
plums.
Even I am getting a little bit like a Bing cherry.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, me too. Yep. Let's see what happens when we pour this bad boy.
Anytime that
Color I
your
was
beer
expecting,
is
exactly.
10.0 or higher, I've read this in Beer Advocate, I've read it other places as well. If your beer comes in at 10.0 or higher, any wine glass will do. Red wine glass, white wine glass, immaterial. 10.0 means kill that thing.
Yeah, you're the one who brought it over. You get the extra swig.
Alrighty, I am seeing a very dark, it says coppery color.
It's the
That's very
exact
much
color I was
dark copper.
expecting.
Yeah.
Before we opened it, we were talking about the beer before we started filming, and I said to him, I'm like, I can't remember the last time I had a quad. It's been quite a long time. In fact, the last one I believe I had is right behind Chris's noggin, the Tetravis. Would you mind?
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. Right about there is the Sam Adams Barrel Room Tetravis right there. Anyway, thank you, sir. And that's the last quad I believe I've had, and it was fantastic. It was a kind of learning experience for me at the time. Being a fan of Sam Adams at the time, like I was, but this is the exact color I was expecting from this beer.
Before we dig into this, just really quick, I almost feel like this is an end of, I would say, almost an experiment. After Triannuary, I vowed that I was going to drink more Belgian ales, going to try more Belgian ales, be more receptive to them.
To that.
And you know what, Mr. Gone V6, my man in Indiana, was trying to be helpful, but basically what he did is he forced me to be true to my word, and I appreciate
that. How dare
that,
you
Chris.
make me keep my New Year's resolution?
I had to be. I said I was going to do that, so I have to do that, and so.
Well, we're in a beer desert.
We are a beer desert.
Like I said, go find some quads in Vegas's liquor stores.
So, before we dig into this, and I have high expectations of this, neither Tony nor I are big fans of really any farm ales, whether they're saisons or quads or triples or any of those Belgian ales. Just not into them. And 2 out of 3 we've liked immensely.
Taxman has definitely, I don't want to say saved the day, but they definitely tweaked my way of thinking about the styles.
And my American palate, I think, lends itself more to domestic interpretations of Belgian ale than true Belgian ale. So, that's probably just because I'm born and bred right here in America. So,
most of us. I'm getting a brown sugar, but almost like it's something that like you swirl as you're baking, like a heated brown sugar.
Very much so. Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. Like if you're trying to caramelize.
Right, exactly. That's what I'm getting immediately. Plums, possibly. I'm getting.
I'm getting prunes.
Prunes. It's just almost simultaneously. Yeah, absolutely.
Shall we?
Oh, totally.
Cheers.
Cheers, everybody, to another good beer.
That is refreshing. That has no alcohol. This at 10.0
This is delicious.
has actually less of an alcohol burn than last week's triple,
Yeah.
which had an 8.0.
Yeah, it's softer almost. It's
yeah.
like silkier almost.
This is sweet, but not too sweet.
Right,
Rich,
exactly.
but not overly rich. Like I don't feel that. Sometimes when something's rich, you get that sort of tickling on the roof of your mouth.
Yeah, and it cakes the roof of your mouth.
Like, not getting anything like that at all.
No, not at all.
I'm a little surprised the lacing on this isn't coming through more.
Maybe that's Taxman's thing. I mean, because you said that last week about.
Yeah,
okay, maybe it's just
one of the things I read in the beer atlas was that you can expect Belgian style lacing with a quad. So this may be an American interpretation.
To a degree, I guess, but it almost looks like the lacing reminds me of just your typical brown ale, really.
It's very much kind of reminding me of a brown ale too. I was thinking that same thing. You get the fruity esters, you get that dry maltiness.
I'm also getting a certain barley wine element to it.
Yes, yeah, very much so.
Not much, but a little bit of one.
No, I think I'm getting like I would call this a highly carbonated barley wine in a lot of respects. It really, when you said that, I thought, that's
which is high praise. I mean, we're not at all. I mean, Chris, I know, is a big fan of barley wines.
Tony, not so much.
But you know what? I did order one at Tenaya Creek out of nowhere like last week.
Oh, yeah?
And Ruth,
Jackalope, or was it
the old Jackalope? Uh-huh. And Ruth, our beer tender there, she just kind of stopped and stared at me. She's like, "Did I hear you correctly?" I'm like,
what have you done with Tony?
I need to revisit it. You know, it's a great beer, and I just typically avoid it. I wanted to go revisit it. Excellent beer. I think if you are a fan of Belgians or triples or quads, you're gonna pounce on this and thoroughly enjoy it.
Yeah,
I really do.
Recommend it highly. Drink a lot of in 2018, or drink more of was brown ale. I think brown ale fans are gonna dig this.
Totally.
I really was not expecting this to be as much like a brown ale.
I think this is a very diverse beer. I think, like we were just saying, your barley wine fans probably would really enjoy this. I'd say 9 out of 10. Brown ale fans, 8 out of 10. And of course, quad fans, I think if you haven't had this particular beer yet, give it a shot. I think it's a fantastic representation. And
sometimes those big bodied, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I just think the appeal is there for multiple fans of various styles. You can't just open a quad and say, I'm going to enjoy a quad because it's a quad, and I'm going to hate a barley wine. I think this beer kind of marries the two. Like, if you're a fan of one or not the other, I think you're going to be happy. So, as you were saying, sir. There's a fly that will not hit the road. You can't have any.
I harken back to, as I put the direct quote from BJCP, Beer Judge Certification Program is BJCP. Great way to learn styles. Get the 2015 version should you grab the app for your phone or tablet device. Complex, rich, smooth, and dangerous is the listing under overall impression. And I can completely see that because, as I said, despite it having 2% more alcohol than last week's venture, it has less of an alcohol burn than the triple.
It's an interesting sentiment right there. Look at that. That almost looks like spice right out of the. When you go to the spice section of the store, and this looks like dillweed or something.
You're absolutely right. Yes.
I just noticed
I hadn't even noticed that. But
little. I got like 3 of them there.
Yeah, it looks like.
And they're about a quarter of an inch, maybe 1/8 of an inch long. It's interesting.
What is the one? The spice that looks like a star.
I don't know too many shapes associated with the name, so.
That's kind of what it. Yeah, I hadn't even noticed that. But
yours actually looks. That almost from right here looks like coffee grounds. Sure, from this angle, and mine actually are more like intact. Like I see 3 like logs.
Oh yeah.
See that? Interesting.
Still lots of carbonation in this.
Yeah. But that's cool. I think that adds a little meat to the beer. So
precisely.
We've got a minute, so we're doing good. We're still okay. We got a minute, and so yeah, I'm gonna have to score this pretty high. I'm actually pretty thrilled with this beer. I'm thrilled with Taxman. I think if I lived in that area, I'd probably be buying their beer pretty frequently.
Yeah, when I go home to Kansas City sometime, I'm definitely gonna be looking to see if we got Indiana beers there. And this is hats off to Taxman. Hats off to making great Belgian beers that, if I can refer to it as a great Belgian beer, it's a great Belgian beer.
Right. Definitely. I would score this probably the same I scored last week's Taxman, 4.25 on Untappd.
Yeah, I think it's actually a 4.5 because I'm liking it a little bit more than even the triple. And the triple was good, don't get me wrong. But this is something.
I'm tempted. But thanks for watching. We got about 15 seconds left.
I know.
So.
All right. Until next time,
Thanks,
drink
everybody.
good beer.
And
Don't
thanks,
break the
Chris
bank doing it. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Gone B6. Bye.